Hi, this is Trudy with ALEM Agency, and today I wanted to show you the importance of working with a broker and having a little bit of patience with that broker so that you can get the best life insurance coverage for your family. I was currently working on a case with a young man who had a kidney transplant. I want to say maybe 10 years ago. And since then, he's been fine. He hasn't had any issues, and now he wanted to get coverage. So unfortunately, he didn't qualify for any term life products, but he did qualify for final expense. And remember, final expense is really just a fancy term for a small whole life policy. So you're looking at maybe 10, 15. Really, I never recommend more than $25,000 for those policies because you don't want to put all of your money into a whole life policy, but you do want to have that guarantee that should you live beyond age 65, 70, or 80, your family will have something to put you away with or to take care of your final expenses. So nevertheless, I went to one of my main carriers, Assurity, and I looked. He had a tissue transplant, no coverage offered. Okay, not bad. I have 24 more carriers that I can go to, so I'll just pick another carrier. I went to American Amicable. Same thing. Have you ever had or been medically advised to have an organ transplant or kidney dialysis, or have you been medically diagnosed as having congestive heart failure and some other diseases? So here, if the answer to questions 1 through 3 is answer yes, the proposed insured is not eligible for any coverage. So we're losing here. After a few days, I said, well, let me just try a few more carriers because I didn't want to give up. So I went to my main carrier that I use a lot, Lincoln Heritage, and I said, okay, well, certainly Lincoln Heritage will cover this individual because they rarely turn almost anyone down. And the issue, we could have gotten coverage, but if you see here, it says common modified medications. Modified with Lincoln Heritage means if a person is age 50 or over, that policy will not pay out for the first 2 years. And so what does that mean? That means that if you die of a heart attack, a stroke, however you die, unless it's an accidental death, your family will not receive the policy benefits. Now, the family would receive the payments that were paid into the policy plus a little interest. But again, if you're like me and how I was with my mom, that 2-year wait is very stressful because you don't know, am I going to have to try to come up with $10,000 or $15,000 at one time or sign wage assignments or beg or create these GoFundMe pages. You want that security of knowing that, God forbid, if something were to happen to my loved one next week, a month from now, etc., we do have something in place that will help me take care of their final expenses. So unless I have to go with a modified or graded policy, that is my very last option, only because not only am I a client, I'm also, not only am I a representative, but I'm also a client. My mom passed. She passed 3 months outside of the 2-year deadline. So we still were able to, receive the proceeds. But that was a very stressful time for me during that situation. So, okay, Lincoln Heritage, that's an option. But again, that's going to be graded. So then I went to another one of my favorite carriers, the Standard Life and Accident. Here, as a proposed insured, received an organ transplant. Were they waiting? If so, they were only eligible for a graded benefit. So here again, we're back to asking the client to wait for 2 years. Now again, if the person is significantly ill, these policies can be a benefit. But it should always be your last resort. Don't just let somebody tell you, I work for ABC company, and if we can't cover you with one of these other policies, we do have this 2-year wait policy for it. It's guaranteed issue. Don't just go with that because there may be another option. And I found another option. So with Bankers Life, I was able to, first, you always check the medication. A good representative will always check your medication because there's nothing worse than turning in an application for life insurance and being denied, because these days there's a medical report that's kind of similar to your credit report, but it's just for medical purposes. You don't want to have too many denials. Here, if you'll see with the senior securities, the sales step wasn't on here. And so I got really excited. I said, okay, well, let me call the underwriters, because an experienced agent also knows that even though medication may not be listed in an underwriting guide, it may still be a medication that's not covered. But long story short, because I was able to go through 23 different carriers, I'm now actually able to offer the client coverage at a very reasonable rate, even with taking the CellCept medication. I want to say it was maybe $59 a month for $10,000. And for the age of my client, that's a great deal versus offering him a graded policy where in the policy he would only have had maybe $10,000, but you would have been paying $80 and hoping that your loved one lives outside or beyond that 2-year period. So I just briefly want to show you a real-life example of how working with a broker who works for you and not for the insurance company benefits you. Everybody's not going to fit in a box, and you don't want an agent that's going to try to make you fit in a box, and if you don't get in this box, then you can't get covered, or I have a box for you, but you're going to have to wait 2 years to receive a payout, because there are options. If you have any questions, as always, you can contact me at 855-578-2378. I'm sorry, 855-576-2378, or you can always go to our Facebook page, ALEM, that's A as in Apple, L as in Larry, E as in Edward, M as in Mary, Agency, or you can visit us on the web at www.alemagency.com. So again, reach out to us. Let us know if you have any questions. We are always here to help and advise. Thank you for watching, and enjoy the rest of your day.